dim light of twilight, nestled deep within the folds of an ancient forest, stands the Whispering Pines Inn. To the untrained eye, it appears as a quaint retreat, a charming stop for weary travelers seeking solace. Yet, those who dare to stay find themselves enveloped in an atmosphere thick with secrets and shadows, where every creak of the floorboards seems to echo with the whispers of the past. The inn has a history steeped in mystery, a tapestry woven with tales of sorrow, loss, and the supernatural. It was built in the late 1800s by a reclusive family, the Hawthornes, who vanished without a trace one stormy night. Local legend speaks of a terrible tragedy, a betrayal that led to their demise. Some say the inn was cursed from that moment on, its halls haunted by the restless spirits of the Hawthorne family. As the sun dips below the horizon, casting long shadows across the weathered facade, guests begin to arrive. They are drawn in by the charm of the old inn, unaware of the chilling tales that cling to its walls. One guest, a historian named Clara, is particularly intrigued. She has come to uncover the truth behind the Hawthornes' disappearance. Her curiosity leads her to explore the inn's many rooms, each one seemingly frozen in time, each one holding a secret of its own. As Clara wanders the narrow hallways, she feels an unsettling sensation, as if she is being watched. The air grows heavy, thick with an energy that sends shivers down her spine. She pauses outside room 3, the door slightly ajar, inviting yet foreboding. With a deep breath, she pushes it open, revealing a dimly lit room, the furnishings draped in dusty sheets. A large portrait of a woman hangs on the wall, her eyes seemingly following Clara as she steps inside. This woman, Clara learns from an old journal she discovers on the bedside table, was Eliza Hawthorne, the matriarch of the family. The journal is filled with Eliza's musings, detailing her dreams of a brighter future for her family. Yet, as Clara reads on, the tone shifts, revealing a growing sense of dread. Eliza writes of strange noises at night, of shadows flitting just beyond her vision. It is as if the inn itself is alive, reacting to her presence. Clara's heart races as she flips through the pages, uncovering a chilling entry dated just days before the family's disappearance. Eliza describes a feeling of impending doom, a darkness creeping closer, suffocating her hopes. She writes of a visitor, a man whose intentions are unclear, whose presence fills her with an inexplicable fear. Clara's mind races as she contemplates the implications. Who was this man? Did he play a role in the family's fate? As night settles in, Clara decides to join the other guests in the common room, hoping to find solace in their company. However, the atmosphere is thick with tension. Whispers float through the air, tales of strange occurrences and ghostly apparitions shared in hushed tones. The innkeeper, a gaunt figure with hollow eyes, stands silently in the corner, watching the guests with an unsettling intensity. Clara feels a chill run through her, as if he knows more than he lets on. The stories unfold, each more haunting than the last. One guest recounts a night spent in room 7, where he awoke to find a figure standing at the foot of his bed, cloaked in shadows. He described the figure as a woman, her face obscured, yet her sorrow palpable. Another guest claims to have heard laughter in the corridors, only to find himself alone, the laughter echoing off the walls, growing fainter until it vanished into silence. With each story, the air grows heavier, thick with the weight of fear and uncertainty. Clara's thoughts drift back to Eliza's journal, to the man who had visited the Hawthornes. Could he still be here, lurking in the shadows? The thought sends a shiver down her spine, fueling her determination to uncover the truth. Later that night, Clara ventures back to room 3, drawn to Eliza's story. She can't shake the feeling that the answers she seeks lie within those 4 walls. As she settles in, the wind howls outside, rattling the windows, a mournful sound that seems to echo the inn's tragic past. Clara opens the journal once more, her fingers trembling as she reads the final entries. Eliza writes of a confrontation with the mysterious visitor, a desperate plea for help that went unanswered. Clara can feel the weight of despair in her words, the fear that clung to her like a shadow. Suddenly, a noise breaks the stillness, a soft whisper, barely audible but unmistakable. Clara's breath catches in her throat. She strains to listen, the atmosphere thickening around her. The whispers grow louder, forming words that chill her to the bone. "Help us, find us." The voices seem to come from the very walls of the inn, a cacophony of sorrow that reverberates through her. Clara feels compelled to respond. "What do you need? Who are you?" she whispers into the darkness. The air grows colder, and for a fleeting moment, she catches a glimpse of a figure, a fleeting shadow darting past the door. Heart racing, she moves to the threshold, peering into the dimly lit hallway. All she sees is darkness, but the feeling of being watched intensifies. Determined to seek answers, Clara decides to explore the inn's basement, a place rumored to be the epicenter of the haunting. She descends the creaking stairs, the air growing colder with each step. The basement is dimly lit, filled with old furniture and forgotten relics. It feels as if time has stood still, preserving the inn's secrets in layers of dust. As Clara moves deeper, she stumbles upon a hidden door, barely discernible behind piles of old crates. With a deep breath, she pushes the door open, revealing a small room shrouded in darkness. The air is thick, and Clara can feel a presence, a weight in the atmosphere that presses against her. In the center of the room stands a weathered trunk, its lock rusted and worn. Clara's heart pounds as she approaches, her hands trembling as she reaches for the trunk. What could it possibly hold? As she lifts the lid, she is met with a musty odor and the sight of old letters, documents, and photographs spilling out. Among them, she finds a letter addressed to Eliza, written by a man named Thomas. The contents reveal a twisted tale of jealousy and betrayal. Thomas had once been a close family friend, but his obsession with Eliza drove a wedge between him and the Hawthornes. The letter speaks of a dark pact, a promise that bound him to the family, and a threat that looms over them. Clara's heart races as she pieces together the fragments of a haunting story. Thomas had confronted Eliza on that fateful night, his intentions twisted by rage and desire. It becomes painfully clear that the tragedy that befell the Hawthornes was not an accident, but a consequence of human darkness. As she absorbs this revelation, the whispers return, louder now, swirling around her. Help us, break the curse. Panic surges through Clara as she realizes the weight of her discovery. The spirits of the Hawthorne family are trapped, bound to the inn by the sins of the past. They seek liberation, a way to break free from the darkness that has held them captive for so long. Clara knows she must act, but how can one person confront such deep-rooted malevolence? As she ascends from the basement, a sense of urgency propels her forward. She gathers the other guests, her heart pounding as she shares her findings. Initially met with skepticism, their expressions shift as Clara recounts the tales of the Hawthornes and the dark legacy that lingers within the inn. The air grows thick with tension, a palpable fear settling over them. Together, they decide to hold a séance, an attempt to communicate with the spirits and offer them the help they so desperately seek. As they gather in the common room, the atmosphere shifts, charged with energy. Clara leads the group, her voice steady yet trembling with anticipation. Spirits of the Hawthorne family, we call upon you. We wish to help you find peace. Please reveal yourselves. Share your story. As the words leave her lips, the air crackles with energy. Objects begin to tremble, shadows dance along the walls, and the temperature drops dramatically. A sense of foreboding envelops them, but Clara presses on, determined to break the cycle of despair. Suddenly, a figure materializes before them, a woman, her face ghostly pale, her eyes filled with anguish. It is Eliza, her spirit trapped between worlds. She speaks, her voice a haunting whisper. Help us, release us from this torment. Clara feels a rush of empathy as she listens to Eliza's plea. What must we do? She asks, her voice steady despite the fear coursing through her. Confront the darkness, confront Thomas, Eliza replies, her voice echoing with the weight of sorrow. Only then can we be free. The room falls silent, the others staring in disbelief. Clara knows what must be done. They must face the darkness that has haunted the inn for so long and lay to rest the ghosts of the past. As dawn breaks, the group assembles for one final confrontation. They gather in the basement, where Clara believes Thomas's spirit remains. Together, they summon their courage, reaching out to the darkness that has plagued the inn. Thomas, if you can hear us, we seek to understand your pain. You must let go of your anger and set the Hawthorne family free, Clara calls, her voice echoing in the stillness. For a moment, there is silence. Then, a gust of wind sweeps through the basement, chilling them to the bone. The shadows coalesce, forming a figure, a man, his face twisted with rage and regret. As he materializes, Clara locks eyes with him, feeling the weight of his torment. Why have you come? Thomas growls, his voice a low rumble. They deserve their fate. No, Clara counters, her voice unwavering. You can't hold onto this darkness. It's time to let go. As she speaks, the air thickens with tension. Thomas's anger vibrates in the atmosphere, a palpable force that threatens to overwhelm them. But Clara stands firm, her heart pounding with determination. You are not alone in your suffering. Release them, and you will find peace too. The room erupts in chaos, shadows swirling around them, a battle of wills between light and darkness. Clara reaches deep within herself, channeling her strength. We are all here for you, Thomas. You can stop the cycle of pain. In that moment, something shifts. The shadows begin to recede, and for the first time, Clara sees a flicker of vulnerability in Thomas's eyes. I didn't mean for this to happen, he whispers, his voice breaking. I was consumed by jealousy, by rage. Tears spring to Clara's eyes as she watches the struggle within him. You can make amends, she urges. Let them go. Set yourself free. In a final surge of energy, the shadows explode, swirling around them before imploding into a blinding light. Clara shields her eyes, a rush of wind sweeping through the basement as the spirits of the Hawthorne family rise, bathed in ethereal light. Eliza's voice echoes through the air. Thank you for freeing us. As the light fades, Clara feels the remnants of the spirit's presence linger, a warmth that fills the void left by darkness. The inn is silent, the weight of sorrow lifting. Clara knows they have broken the curse, that the souls of the Hawthorne family can finally find peace. As she ascends from the basement, the dawn light spills through the windows, illuminating the once shadowed corners of the inn. The air feels lighter, the atmosphere transformed. Clara takes a deep breath, a smile breaking through the remnants of fear. The Whispering Pines Inn has shed its dark past, and in its newfound light, it stands as a testament to the power of understanding, compassion, and the courage to face one's demons. But as Clara prepares to leave, she can't shake the feeling that the inn still holds